The Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu has assured South Africans that the state of water in the country has not reached crisis levels just yet. Mchunu was addressing this year's Water Institute of Southern Africa conference. Mnisi is at the conference and he joins us now for a sense of what is happening there. If it's not a crisis just yet, Linda, how else does the minister characterize it?
Well, the Minister Dudu says that there are plans in place to ensure that there's adequate water supply to, South Africans at this point. And he says that we categorically cannot say that it has reached crisis point. And this is specifically the question that I asked him, given the fact that Eskom is dominating headlines right now with load shedding and power cuts. And obviously, when you look back at, the water issues that we've had in this country not so long ago, or currently even, the issue around the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality also struggling with water supply. If you also remember earlier this year when the floods swept through KwaZulu-Natal, what we saw in that particular province was, water shortages, which prompted the people in the sector to call for the department to treat water issues as a climate change issue. What is it that they are going to do to make sure that they mitigate around the climate change having an impact on water supply? Let's take a listen to what he had to say when I asked him to specifically tell us about where we are as a country in terms of water supply.
In fact, we can say categorically that we don't have a threat on security of water in South Africa currently, but I must warn, it doesn't mean that South Africa all of a sudden is not a water scarce country. That's number one. Number two, it does not mean that people must not use water sparingly. Those two are there to a point where in other places there is rationing of water, and we agree with that. Because there are also differences in some places, while South Africa is not at the moment in experiencing water crisis per se, but there would be a locality somewhere that would be in a crisis of one kind or the other. But overall, on average, we don't have an immediate crisis that we should be anticipating in South Africa.
All right, to do that, Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu talking about where we are at this very moment when it comes to issue of water supply. But he also had an opportunity during the engagements in plenary to talk about the issue around the Nelson Mandela Bay, saying that, they're battling, but there are strides that are being made. The fact that Nelson Mandela Bay is not at day zero really says that they are succeeding. Let's take a listen.
We're battling with Nelson Mandela Bay, but we're happy that up to now it is possible for us, including this morning, to answer the question, has day zero arrived? And we've said it hasn't arrived. To us, that is important because it means that we're succeeding. We're not worried about next week or next month. We're worried about today. Today, no day zero has arrived. It means that we're hard at work and we're succeeding.
Linda Mnisi, thank you very much for that detail. We'll touch base with you a little later on in the program.